Hi, I'm Ros, and I'm going to be talking about structured literacy. Now, the structured literacy approach is a crucial development in our understanding of how to teach our students more effectively. So let's look at the key elements and how those principles can be incorporated into our teaching. Firstly, our teaching needs to be explicit. In other words, we present and clearly explain each new phonic pattern and how to use it.
The letters A and R usually make an R sound, as in car. These words all have the AR pattern. Dart, jar, shark, star. Now look at these words. Art, dark, hard, large.
And of course, this is followed by students using that word in a variety of ways, not just as spelling words, but read individually and in context, and incorporated into their writing. Here, we're analysing and segmenting words into individual phonemes. And here, we're building awareness of syntax and semantics by building and utilising sentences. And of course, our students need to be using those words in a variety of contexts, particularly in their own writing. And they need to be reading those words in many contexts too. In the early stages, in passages where reading vocabulary is carefully controlled, what we would call decodables, of course. So a combination of words which can be decoded at that stage, and a small selection of high-frequency words which have been previously introduced and explained. And at the later stages, the emphasis is on building reading vocabulary and comprehension, extending our older learners' knowledge of the world, as well as enlarging their vocabulary. And the importance of this is clearly shown in Scarborough's reading rope, which we all know so well. Research shows us that general knowledge is vital for reading comprehension. So non-fiction informational texts are particularly important for our older students. Now, although there are many elements to consider, our overall scope and sequence needs to be comprehensive, logical, and systematic. This one from StepsWeb not only introduces each phonic pattern, it also includes a range of aspects which are relevant at each point. This includes phonological and phonemic skills, morphology, key grammar rules, and vocabulary development. And don't forget, our learners also need common everyday knowledge, like days of the week and months of the year, part of literacy for life, if you like. And literacy, of course, is often a barrier for other subjects, particularly maths. Our younger learners, for example, need to understand that plus means the same as add. And as we progress through that scope and sequence, we need to continually check previous phonic patterns. Have they been remembered? Can they still be used? We call this the circular progression, and this is how it works. Your learner makes progress. You then, periodically, go back to check and find some material that needs further reinforcement. You progress further and check again. Your progress starts to look a little bit like this. And it's not enough to just introduce each phonic pattern and then forget it. We need to revisit each one and check retention. Your literacy progression effectively becomes a little bit like this. Now, although this looks too complicated and challenging for an individual teacher to achieve, particularly in a busy classroom, the right materials will automatically build in those elements for you. And it's only by developing true automaticity that we enable our students to use new words in their writing. And of course, our approach also needs to be diagnostic. We need to understand each learner's needs and be able to effectively monitor progress. As well as identifying specific needs for each individual, we even need to focus on individual words or phonic patterns which cause difficulties for that individual. And again, this is obviously a challenge in a busy classroom, so this is where technology can be particularly valuable. StepsWeb, for example, automatically analyses each learner's errors and regularly produces individualised reinforcement, online and printable. So this has given a quick overview of the key elements of structured literacy. Good luck and have fun with your teaching.